Hello friends and welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm really glad you're here. If you're new here, my name is Becca and this channel is all about my love for knitting, spinning, weaving, crocheting, sewing, all the fiber things. If you're enjoying this fiber adventure, please consider leaving a like or a comment, or subscribing to my channel, or sharing with your friends. I invite you to grab whatever project you have on the go and join me. Let's make some stuff. Have you ever knitted anything on commission? Something that somebody asked you to knit for money? I don't normally do that. I have done it in the past. I had a coworker found out that I made socks and asked if I would make some socks for him. And after I told him what the price would be, plus the cost of yarn. He didn't balk at that, and so I did it. And honestly, I don't really remember much about the project. I didn't really enjoy the process like I would have. I make things for people all the time. I make lots of things as gifts, but somehow it's different if somebody is asking me to do what is my de-stressing event, my de-stressing activity, sort of as work. And knitting for a deadline is especially stressful. I have a full-time job, and I have to deal with deadlines in my full-time job, and I am not the kind of person who likes to push right up against the deadline. I like to have things done in advance so that I don't have that panic at the end of the day. And flash forward to early summer of this year, I had a special request from a very special person. My niece was going to get married, and she asked if I would knit some shawls so that she could give them as gifts to her bridesmaids. 5 of them. In about 4 months. Whew. And I thought about it for a minute, and how could I say no? I knew that it would be potentially tight depending on the choices that we made. It was possible to get it done. She had asked in plenty of time. It wasn't like she asked me the weekend before, which just wouldn't have been possible. But still, I knew there was a very hard deadline with this knitting project. So we talked about some things. I thought, if I'm going to make 5 shawls, they have to be fairly small. And I can't be making huge shawls that are going to take me 2 months a piece, because I'll just not get them done, and that won't do. So we settled on a small shawl. I had made this one that I'm wearing. This is a pattern that is made with sock yarn, 1 skein, 400 yards, and it is an asymmetric triangle that is knit from the bottom corner and increases across the top. So like this. But it's a fairly quick, easy pattern. It's just garter stitch with some fairly simple eyelets and dags, but I think it turns into a nice elegant shawl or shawlette, which is exactly what she wanted for her bridesmaids for this fall wedding. where they're planning to have some time outside in the evening, and something they could just put over their shoulders and keep a little bit warm, but yet wouldn't detract from the dresses or overpower the dresses that they're getting to wear such beautiful dresses, of course, for the wedding. So we settled on this pattern. She liked this pattern, and then it was the matter of what was the yarn going to be. Well, we talked about having a dyer dye some yarn custom for this project, and I did reach out to a couple of yarn dyers that I am familiar with, and unfortunately nobody had the time or capacity to get that done, especially within our time frame. So she and I went looking on Etsy and found some beautiful yarn from a lovely dyer, which was exactly the right colors for their wedding. And the yarn was from Blue Barn Fiber Arts on Etsy, and I'll show you a close-up of this so you can see and go check out their shop as well. They make eco-friendly hand-painted yarn and fiber that is cruelty-free, and they are located in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And this yarn that we chose is this, it's called Chasing the Light, and it goes from this deep burgundy color through yellows and oranges and a little bit of purple, and made this wonderful, wonderful pattern in this this shawl pattern. So I got to work. We ordered the yarn, and it took about a week for it to arrive at my house, and I instantly got to work balling up the first skein and knitting it up. And I wanted, before I did all 5 of them, I wanted to have her come and look at it and make sure that she approved and that she liked the way it turned out before I put in all the effort and ended up with 5 of them that she didn't like. But she absolutely loved it and was very excited about it. Another thing that this pattern has is a little peacoat edging at the cast off edge, which just gives it a little bit more softness to the pattern. And I also put these tiny heart charms that say "Made with Love," so that her bridesmaids, when she gives them, will know that these are handmade items. So what did I learn from doing this? Well, I learned that I was able to do this, that sometimes the simplest choices actually turn out to be the best for the situation. For example, this easy, simple pattern is just the right size to not overwhelm the dresses, matches with the colors, but is not too bright or too distracting. Just the perfect size for a cool fall evening without being too hot or not warm enough. And then I learned that I probably won't be doing commission knitting in the future unless another very special person comes to me with a very special request, because doing 5 of them, I didn't get bored with it as I thought I might, making the same pattern over and over and over again. But had I done many more of them, I probably would. I was definitely ready to move on to something else. And I am just really glad that I did this for my wonderful niece on her wonderful day. And as a special gift for her, I took the remaining bits from each of the 5 skeins for each of the bridesmaids' shawls, and I made a bride's shawl for her in the same pattern with a stripe that represents each of the bridesmaids. And I paired it with this green wool that I had in my stash that I think just turned out really cute. And I hope she loves it. She hasn't seen this one yet. But again, it has the charm, and the charms are all similar. They're all the same heart shapes they made with love, but they are different types of metal. So there's copper ones and silver ones, gold ones. And so there's a little bit of variation in even the little charms. So tell me what you think. Have you done commission? Would you do commission? Would you consider it? I find it to be a bit stressful, but in this case, it was very rewarding, and I would do this again in a heartbeat. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for spending some of your creative time with me. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!